Hi guys, welcome back to Beyond the Cowl. You've got Sammy here for Unit 1, Week 31. We're doing the crochet textured long looped stitch today. A gorgeous stitch, introducing something a little bit differently with long loops for this pattern. I'm working a standalone piece, so if you're doing a standalone, this stitch calls for multiples of 8 plus 2. So I'm doing 24 plus 2, a chain of 26, and as we work back that gives me 25 stitches. I have done a row of single crochet just so it's a little easier to demonstrate the stitch as we start working. Now if you're working into your blanket, you're going to be doing a row of single crochet. You want to be looking at the wrong side of your project. For that first row of single crochet, and obviously with me working 25 stitches for a standalone, our stitch count is going to match up for your 120 or 240 size blanket. Sorry, doing maths in my head. So, working a row of single crochet to check your stitch count, looking at the wrong side. Then coming back, our first row of stitches for this beautiful pattern is another row of single crochet. So the first row, if you're working into a blanket, you're looking at the wrong side. This one, you're looking at the right side. Another chance to check your stitch count is correct. I'll let you all work a row of single crochet. Now, if you're working into your chain, obviously you're working into the second chain from your hook. You say you had a chain of 26 and you want to make it 25 stitches. So that first chain is your turning chain. All right, work that row of single crochet and I'll meet you back here for row 2 where we'll be learning the long looped stitch, where we'll be doing 4 first and then 2 a little later. See you soon. Yeah, that math doesn't work for a blanket. If you're working into your existing project, you're going to want to add an extra single crochet into the second row of single crochet that you're doing. So anywhere there is fine. It won't really be noticeable. It just evens out that stitch count so that you can work the rest. All right, row 2 of our pattern. So chaining 1 and popping a single crochet into the same stitch. And then we repeat this next part all the way along the row. So we chain 1, we skip a single crochet and we make an LLP4 over the next 5 stitches. So an LLP4 is a long looped stitch 4. So we yarn over our hook, we insert our hook, so we're skipping 1, inserting our hook and drawing up a long loop. We're doing that 5 times. So across the next 5 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you can see that I have kept them quite long. It will help with that pattern that we're creating. Once we've done that, we yarn over and draw through all 10 loops on our hook. Oh no, I got them all. Yarn over, draw through all 10 loops on our hook. Try not to drop it. Or you're starting again. Sorry, a bit glary there. Sorry, the first 10, there's 11 loops on our hook. So we've got 2 left. Yarn over and draw through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. Then insert our hook into the middle space of the long loop stitch and work 4 single crochet. So that would be through the middle of those loops. So you can see I've just gone through the middle and work 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there we chain 1, we skip a single crochet and work a single crochet into the next stitch and then repeat. Now I'm just going to zoom in a bit to see if I can get that stitch sequence for the long loop stitch 4, LLP 4, a little clearer for you. So we chain 1, we skip 1. Okay, that should take care of the glare. Now our LLP 4, we're skipping 1 and then we're working into the next 5. So skip 1, yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a nice long loop, and it is important that they are long. That's in 5 stitches. So there's our first one, yarn over, second, yarn over, third, yarn over, fourth, yarn over, fifth, yarn over and pull through 10. So it leaves 2 on our hook, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Then we're going to insert our hook through the middle. So those long loops, we're going to leave the back and just go through the middle of the loops. So we're just getting the front of them, pulling our yarn through to work 4 single crochet. So I'm going to go back in through the loops 4 times to pull up a loop and work my single crochet. There's 2, 3, and 4. We chain 1, we skip a single crochet, anchor it down with a single crochet into the second stitch, and then repeat. So chain 1, skip 1, and LLP 4. You can see sort of twist around and you've got your chain sitting on top. We're going to repeat that all the way to the end. We'll be finishing with a single crochet in the last stitch, turning ready for row 3. I'll see you back here soon. Okay, lovely. So we're back for row 3. So I've just done a chain 1 to turn. We're going to repeat the same thing all the way across. We're just going to work a back loop only, single crochet into each and every stitch. So 1 in the chain there, and then in each of the single crochet across the top of our LLP 4. So just a single crochet in the back loop only. I was doing the front loop, wasn't I? Ugh. Far from perfect, that's me. Chain 1, back loop only, single crochet into each and every stitch all the way across. With the nature of this stitch, a looser tension can be really quite favourable. You can see how that's starting to square off already. I am very consciously keeping my tension fairly loose. Alright, I'll let you guys finish working those back loop only single crochet, and I will meet you back here for row 4, where we'll be doing some more long loop stitches. See you soon. Oh, look at this beauty. Right. Make sure we got no glare, and we're ready for row 4. So I've done a chain 3 to turn. Now we're going to be working the long loop stitch again, but we want to work in the dips instead of the highs, so it all evens out and will be nice and square. So we're going to start out by doing an LLP2 over the first 3 stitches. So I've done my chain 3, the LLP2 over the first 3 stitches. I'm going to yarn over our hook, insert into the next stitch, pull up a long loop, and again in the second stitch, yarning over, pulling up a long loop, and then yarning over and pulling up a long loop in the third, yarn over and draw through the first 6, yarn over and draw through the remaining 2. Then we're going to insert our hook through the middle of the stitch again, so you can see the back of those long loops, pulling through to work 2 single crochet. So 1 and 2. From there, we're going to repeat the following stitch pattern. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip 1 stitch and do a single crochet into the next. We're going to chain 1 and make an LLP4 over chain 1, skip 1 and make an LLP4 over the next 5 stitches. So yarning over, inserting and pulling up a long loop, remembering looser tension and nice long loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarning over and pulling through the first 10, yarning over and pulling through the remaining 2, then going back through the middle of those long loops to work our 4 single crochet. 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4, we chain 1, we skip 1, and we single crochet into the next. So it's about the center of the previous one, so you can see evening it out a little bit. Okay, and then we repeat again. Chain 1, skip 1, LLP4, all the way across. Now at the end, I'll meet you back here once you've worked your last LLP4 and you've got a high left to show you how to finish off with an LLP2 over the last 3 stitches ready to turn. Okay, so finishing out row 4, excuse me, I've done my stitch and my single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, then we're going to chain 1, skip 1 and work an LLP2 over the next 3 stitches. So yarning over, inserting our hook and pulling up a long loop, 1, oops, 2, and the final one is worked into our turning chain, 3, pulling through 6, yarning over and pulling through the last 2. There we go. Then going back through the center of those long loops to work our 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. We're chaining 1 to turn, and then row 5 is a repeat of row 3. So we're just working a back loop only single crochet into each stitch all the way across. Our chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch for this row. And it's that easy. It really is a gorgeous little stitch. Adds really different texture. Now, repeating this stitch, you're going to repeat rows 2 to 5 as many times as you like. If you're working into your blanket and you don't want to do that many rows a day, you could always do 2 rows instead of the 4. Either way, I'm sure it's going to look beautiful. I can't wait to see all of your work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, have a fantastic day and happy hooking.